Hey, what's up? My name is Alex and I'm finally back with my new video. Today, me and Severman will show you how we made the drop of our track This Feeling. But first, I apologize for being gone for 3 months. I had a producer block, I lost my inspiration, but now I'm back. And I will definitely make a video about my producer block and how I finally managed to overcome it. Alright, now let's move on to the tutorial. First, I want to tell you how I came up with the main idea of our track. Almost 1 year ago, I was practicing my skills and making Matisse and Setko style intros, and this is what I made. I thought that something is missing, so I quickly made this guitar melody. And only the next day I realized that this melody is actually really nice, and I should continue working on it. So you never know when inspiration will visit you. You must be ready for it every minute, and this is why I've downloaded Piano app on my smartphone. So I continued working on this idea, and 1 week later I made the first version of This Feeling drop. Let's listen how it sounds like, and then I'll show you how I made it. Alright, as usual, let's start with the drop leads. Let's listen how they sound like. Now let's listen to each layer. I will turn off leads processing chain so you can hear all layers without effects. Awesome. Now let's have a look at leads processing chain. First, I equalized each layer like this. Then I balanced all layers and routed them into leads bus channel. And here I made this processing chain. First, I cut 2 resonating frequencies using equalizer. Then I used Camel Crusher for distortion and OTT compressor for compression. After it I added wow filter. I saw this preset in one of Jack and Harry videos and I tried it on my drop leads. I like this preset because it makes drop leads more warm and heavy. Then I boosted high frequencies because wow filter cut them. After it I added classic progressive house reverb. Also I used Deep Blue tape stop and Endless Smile for transition in the middle of the drop. And finally, I added the sidechain. Now let's listen to the drop bass. For the drop bass, I used 4 layers. Let's listen how they sound like. I processed the sub bass and the mid bass separately. For the sub bass, first I used a compressor. Then I used an equalizer, just a simple high cut. And finally I used the side chain. For the mid bass, first I cut low and high frequencies from each layer. For the vocal bass layer, I added a LFO tool for rolling effect and Effector plugin for Vox effect. I balanced all layers and routed them into bass-bass channel. First, I used combination of Camel Crusher and OTT compressor to achieve powerful sound. Then I used equalizer to cut a little bit of low and high frequencies. And finally, I used the sidechain. Now let's listen to the drop chords. Let's look at chords processing. For the first layer, I used equalizer to cut low and high frequencies. I also used limiter on the first layer because this preset have very loud attack. For the second and third layer processing, I used Camel Crusher for distortion and equalizer. After it, I routed all layers into Chords bass channel. Here I used my classic processing chain, including Camel Crusher, OTT and equalizer. And finally I added the sidechain. Great. Now let's listen to the drop drums, effects and atmosphere. Now let's look how I made the fill in the middle of the drop. Awesome. And finally, I want to show you automation clips. For the drop leads, I automated high cut and low cut filters, endless smile mix knob, and deep blue tip stop effect. I also automated volume of the sub bass. I made these short automation clips to create some space for the drop toms. Alright, so this is how I made the first version of this filling drop. Then I rendered all stems and sent them to Severman. And now he will show you which elements he added to the drop.
Hey, what's up guys, my name is Severman and now I'll show you all of the sounds that I added to the drop. Let's go. So here we are, this is like my project file of the song, the final one you can say, where I added Alex stems and then where I also added my sounds. So now we'll be taking a look at what I added to the drop specifically. Before we talk about anything, let me just play you the drop again so that you know how it sounds. Let's go. Alright, so let me just start with what I have here at the top of the project file. So I do have the kick drum here, and this is the initial kick stem that Alex sent me. I wasn't like 100% happy with the kick drum that he sent me, so I decided to basically change out the kick. But what I did was I kept his kick drum in here, but I used it as a top kick layer. So on this stem right here that he sent me, I have this EQ right here where I got rid of any bass frequencies. And then I also like did some more specific EQing here. I'm boosting highs, I'm boosting this area right here a bit. And I also have this limiter. Don't know why I added a limiter here, but yeah, I guess it makes its difference here. But then now what's important here with the kick drums, I added another top kick here, this one from Kashmir. And then we have this separate bass kick right here. So these three layers right here create this one big kick drum, which is also a bit more unique than just taking like one kick drum from a sample and leaving it as it is. Then we have the drop clap stem, and to those I added another clap from Kashmir. Then we have Alex rides, and to those I also added another ride. And then what I did to the fills was I chopped them up a bit to apply the same rhythm to the fills that we also have with the bass line. So yeah, just take a listen to these fills. Then what I did with the hi-hats, I applied some panning automation to add a bit more detail to the song. So this guy right here is the panning automation clip for these hi-hats. And as you can see, first of all, I'm going down a bit with the automation, then I'm going up. And this basically means that these two hi-hats are a bit more on the right speaker, then these are a bit more on the left speaker, then this guy more on the right speaker, and this last one on the left speaker or on the left side again. So let's check these out. I thought this just added a bit more like So again, I just thought this added a bit more detail to the song, which is always nice to have, obviously. Then I kind of did something similar on the second half of the drop, where we have these like additional hi-hats. Then here we got Alex drop FX stem, and to this one I added another Cashmere exhaust sample, as well as, yeah, also added this additional snare right here. So yeah, that's kind of it with the first like drum selection right here. Now let's actually get into the more melodic parts. Down here we got Alex drop leads. So I did quite some EQing on these again. So what I did here was I boosted the lower mids range, because I felt like they could use a bit more body. So that's why I did this boost here, and then I just lowered the high end a bit, because I felt like they were a bit too present in the higher frequency area. Then I spread them out a tiny bit more to give them more width, and we just have this guy on here for the filter automation. Then some sidechain. Not sure if I actually used that one. I think I didn't actually use this one, so I'll just like ignore this one. Then I have Alex leads routed to another like bus channel, but I will show you this one in a minute, because this is like the bus channel where I like also process all of the other leads that I added. So yeah, what I did was I added a few more layers to the leads, because I felt like the leads could still sound a bit more interesting when I listened to the ones that he sent me. So I ended up layering, how many is it? Yeah, quite a few layers more to his drop leads. So we got a bunch of next layers right here. And the ones that I added all together sound like this. Then together with Alex leads, we get this one big drop lead sound. And how I process these is, as you can see, I have some of those routed to channel 2, then we have this one routed to channel 3, this one to channel 4. So that was just because I kind of applied the same type of processing to most of these, like to all of the ones that I routed to channel 2. But then this one, which I routed to the 3rd channel, this one which I routed to the 4th channel, I wanted to do some separate processing on these. So yeah, this is just like some detailed EQing here on this guy. On the 3rd one, I just spread it out actually, because I wanted to have this particular layer right here a bit wider than the rest. And then on the 2nd channel, where I've routed most of these two, we got some EQing here, boosting the higher mid area a bit, the highs. Got some OTT to just compress the leads a bit, always adds a bit more energy to them. Then we got the basic low and high cut stuff that you guys probably already know. Then I just spread them also out a bit more to get a wider sound. And then we got this one for the low pass filter automation. And then I used the P controller and the reverb together, which is something that I like to do in pretty much all of my tracks. So with the P controller, I'm just like automating the wet signal basically. So the wet signal of the reverb is connected to the dry signal, you can say. So whenever the dry signal is there, the wet signal is being reduced a bit. And then once the leads stop playing, once the dry signal disappears, the wet signal goes up a bit. So this way you get a cleaner sound with the reverb. And then we just have Nicky Romero kickstart for the sidechain. Then what I did was I routed the channel 2, 3, 4 and Alex initial drop leads to one bus channel, because I wanted to do some processing on all of the sounds together now, to like glue them a bit more together and just to have some more options to tweak those sounds. So what I did, I boosted the very high end on all of these sounds. What is it, like around 16 kHz, just to give them a bit more air. Then I have this EQ on here to dip down this 580 hertz a bit. I felt like that was a bit too much like popping out in the mix. Then I boosted the lower mids like 300 hertz to give the leads a bit more body. And then this one is, I believe, just for volume automation, I think. Then we got this plugin right here. If you don't know this plugin, this one is a, how do you call it? It's a transient shaper. So what I did here is I added a bit more attack to the leads, so that makes them pop a bit more in the mix, and it actually enhances that transient of the leads. And then we got the gross speed. So this is like another sidechain plugin on here, and I did this to get rid of like the very initial first part. Like, so whenever the kick hits, I wanted to make sure that that top kick is really clean and that the leads don't play together with that top kick. So that's basically the curve that you can see here. And then we just got some delay on the leads. So I think let me check. I think I automated the wet signal. Yeah, what I did was I only used the delay at the end of the drop to add sort of like a nicer transition into the second breakdown. So as you can see, there's a bit of delay once the leads stop playing here. All right, so that's it with the leads. Then let me see. Yeah, what I did with his drop atmosphere, I also chopped these up, as you can see, to apply that bass rhythm to them as well. So like, it gives a bit more rhythm to the overall drop, I thought like. Then let me see. We do have some stuff here, but I actually muted this, so you can just ignore this stuff right here. This is also muted. But on the second half of the drop, this is not muted, so let's check it out. So there's some type of clock layer. Then we have this vocal ambience, as well as this one right here. As you can tell, these are also chopped up so that these match the rhythm of the bass as well. Then we just got like a basic uplifter, which is actually a downlifter that I reversed. So we basically get the uplifter effect. Then we got this impact right here. Some more ambience that I added. Yeah, then we have this ambience piano. What I used for this one was, I think it's actually from this pattern right here. So for this one, I used this piano from Nexus right here. So nothing really crazy about this one. And then I think I also added some layers to his chords and to the mid basses, I guess. Okay, so unfortunately it turns out that for the chords and the mid basses that I added, I used Silent 1, but it's not working correctly in this project file anymore. And so all I can do is I can only show you like the final mid bass and chord sound. So let's check these out. Then the chord. Alright guys, so I think these were all the sounds that I added to the drop of this song. So yeah, I hope you like this little snippet from my side. So now let me give it back to Alex Aspen. Bye bye.
Thank you very much, Severman. And that's all for today. If you haven't watched Severman's video about this feeling breakdown, I will put link in the description. By the way, me and Severman made a sample pack with unique samples from our track. You can find link to this sample pack in the description. And if you haven't heard our track yet, guess where you will find the link? Of course, in the pinned comment. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.